Namaste to all. In 2012, when the Nirbhaya case happened, when the Delhi gang rape unfortunate incident happened, my Acharya ji immediately wrote a book, Vedic Punishment for Criminals, Women Offenders, and then he also tried to establish contact with the government at that point of time in Delhi to give that book to them and request them to read the book and try to implement such punishments as per Vedas. Almighty God reveals Vedas knowledge in the heart of the Rishi. So Vedas speak about punishments for these people who are criminals, who are rapists, who are murderers, who take away others' property, or who steals others' property, or who leaks very sensitive information about one country to another country. Like somebody comes from other country to our country and then takes he spies on very secretive information and then he reveals to other country. For these kind of people, Almighty God gives a very stringent punishment in Yajurveda 11/77. And God says in this mantra, in 11/77, Ye stena yecha taskarastanste agne api dadamayase. So he says Agne. Agne means burning fire. God says in the mantra that people who are criminals, people दूसरों के पदार्थों को हारने वाला, people who steal away the pride of a woman, people who rapes a woman, who murders other innocent people, people who are criminals in public, they have criminal mentality. Because see, unfortunately the mental situation of criminals cannot be changed because of our education system. We follow the education system devised by so-called scholars who are not scholars. In the ancient times, the education system was devised by Rishi Muni Tapasvis. So in the ancient times, everybody followed dharma. Today there is no dharma because our education system does not teach anything on dharma. No ABC of dharma is taught in the schools. So naturally criminals, whether he is educated like this guy, I read in the news, this guy is a guy who supports police or he helps police in many cases or whatever it is. So even supporting police, he dares to do such a crime. So naturally his mental situation is anti-Vedic, is adharmic person. So for changing the mental situation of public, the government should seriously think to implement Vedic education in the schools, yogic education in the schools. But when you implement Vedas or Bhagavad Gita class in the school, then people say that these are Hindu scriptures. When Bhagavad Gita was written, there was no Hinduism. When Vedas was revealed to public, it was revealed to all the human beings. So these are not for Hindus or one community. These are universally applicable to all the human beings across the world. So mental situation cannot be changed. At least when we implement punishment, stringent punishment in public and publicly advertise these punishments, then a person who is a rapist, who has an intention to rape somebody, who is a murderer, who has an intention to murder somebody, who has an intention to steal somebody's property, at least these people will fear the punishment and will not do such crimes. So the mantra says, Agne asye api dadami. Create a pyre, very big pyre, burn woods or gas or big pyre, and then put this person alive inside the pyre and let him burn to death. And my Acharya also has written a beautiful comment in one of the mantra. I forgot the mantra reference. My Acharya has written that punishment like this, or he must be put in a chamber where reptiles are there, poisonous snakes are there, poisonous animals are there, which will bite him to death, or which will give him so much of torture that he will realize at the time of death that this is the punishment for my rape. And when this kind of punishment is advertised publicly, if a person who has an intention to rape somebody, like when the situation arises, like he goes to hospital at 4 o'clock to whatever time, he sees a doctor relaxing there, she is sleeping or she is sitting there, he gets he dares to rape her and then kill her also. So even when the situation arises, a criminal will not do such crime because he knows the punishment is extremely severe. And when we publicly advertise somebody is tortured, and and that torture is done by the government, by the judicial system, that means we will get a pride in our country, that our country's men, every one of us being Indians, we will feel safe and secure. Like the system is very stringent. The system will not leave the culprits, and the system will protect the people who are dharmic, irrespective of their caste, irrespective of their religion, irrespective of any status. Everyone who is dharmic, everyone who is pious, who are taxpayers, who are good people will be protected, and people who are culprits will be punished. Manusmriti also says a similar punishment. Manusmriti says that heat a cot, take a iron cot, heat it to 500, 700, 800, 1000 degrees, let it become red hot, and tie the guy to that, tie the guy who has raped or who has molested or who has done this kind of heinous crime, tie him to that red hot cot, and he will suffer, he will get tortured, and he will die. And this has to be witnessed by the judicial authorities. This has to be also publicized. Like today everybody is making videos, YouTube channels are there, media is very popular. So this has to be publicly announced that like this guy was killed like this, or we can also have a video tape of that, and then if somebody, we can promote to people who are 18 plus above, and then or people who are not weak hearted can see this kind of punishment, and they can feel pride on our judicial system, that this is the punishment for rapist. If this kind of punishment is implemented, I am sure, and my Acharya has also written that, my Acharya is sure there won't be any other rape in the country. There won't be any other woman who is unsafe. Everybody, a woman can walk on the street at 12 o'clock. Of course, it's not advisable. God also says, don't go outside in the night. For both men and women, God says, unless it's emergency, don't go outside in the night. Okay, but she, in this case, she is working in a hospital, and she is doing her duty, and in spite of that situation, this has happened. So there are many other issues also. This guy has entered and then raped and come out. So that there are other issues also could be there in the security system of the hospital. So all these things will get corrected. And if somebody also is a rapist by his mental situation, he will not commit such a crime, because he knows that if he will get caught, and he will be punished to death or put in the burning fire, etc., etc. And also we must try to promote Vedic Dharma. Also we must try to do everyday Agnihotra. We must try to remember Almighty God. When we remember Almighty God, we will not become adharmic. We will become dharmic. We will become religious, spiritual minded person. And this kind of punishment should be taught upon by the Supreme Court or by the highest people who are making laws in the country. And that is the only way we can protect women in our country. Otherwise, this kind of incidents will keep on happening, and we all will go in the streets for justice. I want justice, I want justice. The punishments are not severe, punishments are not stringent. In the olden times, like Manu Bhagwan was a ruler, he says, if I am the king, if somebody is doing this kind of crime, I will tie him to the heated cot, which is at 1000 degree or 900 degree, and then this guy is burned to death, he is tortured to death. By seeing this punishment, and nobody else will do this kind of crime in my under my reign. So this kind of punishment should be implemented. And this is my humble request. My videos nobody sees, 100 people, 50 people sees, but please try to spread this kind of videos so that if it reaches somebody. I am speaking about Vedas 11/77 Yajurveda. I am speaking about punishment given by Almighty God in the Vedas. So we must try to implement this kind of punishment, and try to protect our women, protect our sisters, mothers, daughters, etc., etc. Thank you so much. Namaste. Om.